So, have you ever wondered what education in Malaysia is going to look like in the next 10 years? We're not just talking about small changes here and there. We're talking about a fundamental shift, a whole new game plan designed to shape the next generation for a future that's, well, changing faster than we can keep up. Let's dive in and unpack Malaysia's really ambitious new 10-year education plan.
Okay, so here's our roadmap for this deep dive. First, we're going to explore the brand new direction this plan is headed in. Then, we'll take a quick look back to see what challenges it's trying to solve. After that, we'll get to the heart of it, the main vision, and the 5 key areas of transformation. And finally, we'll wrap up by looking at what all of this really means for the future.
All right, first things first, what's the big idea here? What is the core theme that's driving this entire 10-year mission?
And here it is, closing the gap, improving quality, achieving success together. Now, this isn't just some catchy slogan they cooked up. It's a strategic compass. I mean, think about it. You've got the huge challenge of post-pandemic learning loss. You've got AI exploding onto the scene. This theme is the guiding light for how to tackle those massive modern-day challenges head-on.
But before we can talk about closing any gaps, we really need to understand just how wide they are. So, let's take an honest look at where Malaysia's education system stands today and the real-world hurdles it's up against.
To be fair, it's not all bad news. Not at all. The last plan actually built a pretty strong foundation. Just look at that number for equity, a nearly 58% reduction in the achievement gap based on socioeconomic status. That is a huge, huge win for fairness. But the big question remains, is that enough for the world we live in now?
And that's really the million-dollar question, isn't it? When the world is evolving at lightning speed, is good really good enough anymore? Are we truly doing everything we can to equip our kids for a future that we can't even fully predict?
Well, the data tells a pretty clear story. What you're seeing here are the 2022 PISA scores, which is a big international test for 15-year-olds. And you can see, in reading, math, and science, there's a noticeable gap between Malaysia's scores and the international average. This isn't just about rankings, it's about ensuring our students have the competitive edge they'll need on a global stage. So, how do we bridge that gap? How do we get from where we are to being in the top tier of education systems worldwide? Well, it all starts with a single, powerful vision of the ideal student.
This right here is the heart and soul of the new plan, the concept of Insan Sejahtera, or the well-rounded individual. But what does that really mean? It means we're officially moving beyond an obsession with just grades and exam results. We're talking about nurturing students who are intellectually sharp, yes, but also emotionally intelligent, spiritually aware, and physically healthy. It's a truly holistic view of what it means to be educated.
So, how do you actually build this well-rounded individual? The plan breaks it down into these 5 core characteristics. We want students who aren't just knowledgeable, but also well-mannered and respectful. We want them to be skilled, resilient enough to bounce back from setbacks, and confident enough to take on the world. This is about building character, not just filling heads with facts.
Okay, a vision is great, but how do you turn it into reality inside actual classrooms? That's where these 5 pillars of transformation come in. These are the concrete, practical strategies that are going to drive this whole change.
All right, let's get into the nitty-gritty. These 5 focuses are the foundation of the whole plan: quality, access and equity, resources and efficiency, flexibility, and a new one, sustainability. Let's break each one down.
First up, quality. And we're not talking about minor tweaks. This is about fundamentally rethinking how teaching and learning happens. We're talking about innovating our teaching methods, providing better learning materials, and putting a real emphasis on critical thinking and creativity.
And they've set a really ambitious target for this. The goal is for a full third of all schools to reach an excellent quality standard, to become what they're calling inspirational schools. Think of these as the trailblazers, the centers of excellence that will set the bar and show everyone else what's possible. Next, access and equity. This is all about one simple, powerful idea. Every single child in Malaysia, no matter their background or where they live, deserves a fair shot at a top-notch education. It's about leveling that playing field for good. And they're putting a hard number on it, a 50% reduction in the achievement gap between students in cities and those in rural areas. This is a massive commitment. It basically says that your potential shouldn't be determined by your postcode. Talent is everywhere, and so should opportunity be. All right, let's talk brass tacks. You can have the best ideas in the world, but if the school buildings themselves aren't up to scratch, you're fighting an uphill battle. That brings us to the third pillar: resources and efficiency. This means getting rid of dilapidated buildings once and for all.
The plan is to upgrade every single school that needs it, to create learning spaces that are safe, modern, and actually inspire students to learn. And it's not just about throwing money at the problem. It's about being smart and efficient, making sure every ringgit counts.
Now, this next one is a real game changer. The fourth focus is on flexibility. For a long time, the system has been very rigid, very one-size-fits-all. But this plan recognizes that what works in a big city school might not be what's best for a small rural one. It's about empowering the experts on the ground.
They're calling it guided autonomy. It's a huge shift. It means schools will finally get more say in things like their curriculum or how they manage their budgets. It's about trusting principals and teachers to make the right calls for their own unique communities of students.
And finally, we have the fifth pillar, sustainability. This is a new focus, but honestly, it might be the most crucial one for the future. It's a recognition that we're not just educating students for their final exams, we're preparing them to be responsible citizens of the world.
And this goes way beyond just talking about recycling. It's about embedding a sense of responsibility into the very fabric of education. It's about creating a generation that understands global challenges, that cares about society, and that feels empowered to build a more sustainable future for everyone.
So we've walked through the 5 big focuses of this transformation, but when you put it all together, what does it actually mean? What kind of future are we trying to build?
Look, there is no doubt this is an incredibly ambitious roadmap. But a plan is just a piece of paper, right? The real question is, for all of us, are we, as a nation, ready to roll up our sleeves and do the hard work to make this a reality? Because at the end of the day, the future of an entire generation is on the line.
And this is what it all boils down to. Quality education, learned individuals, a prosperous nation. That's the end goal, the vision that will guide Malaysia for the next decade. It's about creating a country where every child can truly thrive. This isn't just about transforming schools. It's about transforming the future of the nation itself.